Hello and welcome to jobskillshare.org. In this video, I am going to share some information based on different type of requests that we get from our members. Sometimes our members apply to positions that requires a well-known skills, but those are advanced skills. Usually we call it SCCM type of skills, WDS, and people who have done some sort of work in companies, they may understand these terms, but sometimes people who have done, like, let's say, a very level 1 job and they never get an exposure or access to deployment type of tools, then of course this becomes a little bit of a worrying thing for a lot of our members. And even if you're a new member, a lot of time we get a request from people that I have just applied to a job and it's a tier 2 level job, but still I got an interview. I'm going to go for the interview and they accepted my learning. So because I did a lot of labs and everything. So in our program, of course, these type of things are covered in a sequence. So if you were to be following our program, let's say you are a person who is not worried about job yet, and then you want to basically do this a little bit more in a learning style, then of course you would be following our courses in a sequence. And the best way to follow our courses, let's say you're starting out, you can go to the learning path, and here when you click on learning path, you want to start everything from scratch, which basically you're going to start from the first course, second, third, fourth, fifth, and sixth. And if you look at these courses, then you will find out that you are going to cover all these advanced type of skills later on, because those are this is how you get trained. You start from basics to go to the advanced stuff. But let's say you're in a scenario where you have a job coming soon and you're a JSS member and you have premium access, because these labs are, of course, you need to have a premium access to have that sort of jumping around into different labs, because you're going to be doing skills learning very quickly just for that interview. So if we look at the WDS type of skills, like, which is modern Windows and or let's say corporate level companies or business level companies are using it right now, what would be that course that you can just go and learn it? I'm talking in behalf of, the basics. So you don't need to go into the A+ course and just kind of start learning about tools and events and logs. At this point, you know that, and you're asking me, hey, how do I learn that WDS stuff? Because that's what's in the job description. So for that, you need to come to this course, which is called MD100 Windows 10. This is a fourth course. This is a fourth course in our learning path. So you spend so much time to get to this course, and then you get to this part where it says migrate user data, install Windows 10 with WDS. And then you have this MDT. So if you come to this point, this is where the first four section, migration, Windows 10 WDS, MDT, Windows images. So a lot of time when you go for jobs that are a little tier 2 level or a little advanced, then you get to see these terms. And that's how you can come over here, spend maybe 2 hours, and you're good to go. If you want more details, of course, you're going to go to a Microsoft documentation and learn more about WDS, because this can get even more advanced. But for your level, for that job, for that interview, all you have to say that I have used practice labs in JSS platform and I have done this whole project on WDS, MDT, and Windows images. So when you say something like that, that is really powerful, because then the other person who's taking the interview from you have a very clean understanding that, okay, this person knows what he's talking about. And if they are using WDS, that makes it super helpful, because then they have to think about it that my coworkers or my team members will not have to train this person from scratch. So of course, if you're a member, you can go back to our courses and find this course, which is going to be in our video courses. That's going to be a modern desktop MD100 course. So you can come over here in the My Courses section and then type, let's say here in the search, type modern. And if you have premium access, you will see these IT support modern desktop administrator part 1 is the modern MD100 course. And on the image, it says right there. So if I start this course, you can come over here, and without doing the lab, you can actually go over all of these videos. And let's say if you want to do the lab, you can come scroll all the way down and find module. Let's say find the module which is install Windows 10, and you can spend about this time, which is, it's a very short video. So if you go over all these videos, you're going to learn about WDS from a video format. It's the same labs, and if you want to do this hands-on just to get more confidence, then open your lab. This is how you kind of add that term that you are a little bit worried about and it's more advanced. You just add it just like that. There's really no science to this, because it's basically how we learn things. So you just have to do this lab and then explain it that you have done in the system. So just like that, if you are worried about, let's say, group policies, you saw group policy, then again, in this same course, there's a local policies and then there's domain policies. So just like that the way you did the first ones, you can do it exactly like that by going back to the course, watching the video, and then doing this, let's say, troubleshooting group policy, local policy, deploying apps with group policy. And when you talk about this in your interview, that I have done a project where I have done local policies and then I deployed application through group policy, domain policies, that's pretty powerful. Now you can take this a little more advanced. If you go to MD 101, which is again in our courses, that's going to be a part 2 course, like this one, the part 2 course. Now if you go to the labs, you can go to this MD 101 and kind of go over, see which one. Like for example, Autopilot is something new these days, a lot of people are using. Now this is going to be a company where they have on-premises Windows 10 and Azure Office 365 environment heavily being used, so they may kind of utilize this type of features these days. If you come down, there's another one, deploy applications. A lot of people are doing a lot of deployments of applications these days, and by doing these two projects, Microsoft Business Store, and then deploying apps to Microsoft Endpoint Manager, which is kind of a very new thing. So when you go over this, that's going to give you a pretty good additional skills that you can utilize in your interviews. And then we have this Microsoft Defender, Managed Defender. This is another one that Microsoft is heavily promoting, and a lot of companies are moving to Microsoft Defender now, and people are moving from other well-known systems. So these are the Windows part that you can do. Then again, we have these other more advanced areas where you have this co-management, and this is where you can actually practice on SCCM, and that's where it's a powerful lab, because if you started, I'm going to show you that this lab comes with SCCM, and of course you cannot learn about SCCM from this lab. SCCM is way beyond help desk. Even sysadmins will be struggling with if you're a new sysadmin, you will be struggling with this sort of learning. So we do not recommend you go and start learning SCCM. You can only learn the basics of SCCM and just knowing the product by going in there, where's the application, where are some features, and just getting that confidence that you have done some lab on SCCM and you can utilize this just to counter that question, do you know anything about SCCM? And when they ask you this in the help desk interview, they do not mean that do you know how to implement SCCM. They just want to know that do you know about SCCM in a way that, because we use it for remote management tools. And if you say, yes, I know about it, that's great. But if you say, I don't know anything about SCCM, but I know remote management tools and I can learn it very quickly, there's nothing wrong with that, because nobody expects you to know about SCCM at this level. So when you open MD 101 lab, the important part of this, it comes with a domain controller just like any other practice lab. So let's say you want to learn about Active Directory, it's right there for you. And let's say after that you want to learn about WDS, you can utilize this whole lab to create a whole WDS or like following the module. But if you check this MD01 server, I like this because it comes with 16 GB RAM. That's very important, because if you are going to learn something extra that we have not covered, or you want to learn about Hyper-V, because those are also advanced stuff, it's available for you. And Hyper-V comes with its own systems already in there, so it's very easy for you to come on here and get your hands-on practice very, very quickly from some YouTube videos, online videos, course videos, whatever you name it, if that's not covered by us. Now if you go to the MD02 and you go to start and type click here, configuration manager console, this is SCCM right here. So when people ask you this question, do you know about SCCM? Most of the companies in the help desk, environment, people are just using this remote control viewer. Like when you go to the SCCM, I'm going to open it. A lot of time help desk will be given access to devices like this, where they right click on a machine and then they will go to start and then remote into other users' computers. If it gets a little more advanced, you may be given software deployment capabilities. So you may come over here, click on applications, software updates, and things like that. It can get more advanced. Of course, people don't go into this sort of trainings for help desk because nobody knows if a company is going to be using this. So this is a very specific thing. If a company is using it, they are going to train you the way they are doing things on SCCM. But knowing about SCCM at a very basic level just gives you confidence for that interview question, because some people just, I don't know why they ask, but they sometimes ask you this question, do you know about SCCM? And they're asking this question based on that maybe they're using it. So they do not expect you to create this whole setup. This is a sysadmin job. You don't have to do that. But coming over here and playing around with SCCM, you have this capability. So why not come over here and do a little practice on SCCM so you can get that confidence and you can put it on your resume, and that gets your resume a little bit more boost in alternative to other people, because they may not have something like this, because the setup of this is very tedious and not a lot of people want to do this. So now you can just spin up this lab anytime and you have these labs available. Now, even in this course, migrate GPOs to MDM, this is another advanced stuff right here that's going on. So of course, after this, you can pick anything, meaning if people are asking you about databases, you can go to database administration. If you think that you're going to get a Azure related questions, then come to Azure fundamentals right here. At least take this one lab and that should take care of some of it. If people are going to ask you about server related courses, then maybe just take some sort of server courses. We have some server courses like right here with the system Windows Server configuration and maintenance, and we have administration as well. So my main point over here is that you have so much powerful labs. You can pick and choose things based on your resume and the interview. But if you want to be kind of in sequence, you don't want to be taking stress that, okay, what labs should I take? Then of course you need to take a learning path. You cannot just jump to labs on your own at your level, because that's going to lead to stress and you will not be able to achieve a lot from these labs. You need to follow guidance. So take either learning path courses or take a full program where someone can then guide you. Thank you so much. I hope this video was helpful to some people who are going for advanced interviews very soon and quick.